Now, a blogger has been hacked to death by three men in Bangladesh's capital earlier today. Police caught two of the suspected attackers near the scene, and this follows a killing last month of the prominent Bangladeshi-American blogger Avijit Roy. Well, Asif Mohiuddin is also a Bangladeshi blogger, and he survived an attack in 2013 and is now in hiding. Speaking to the BBC, he gave his reaction to the latest killing.
I'm very much panicked right now. He was a very good friend, and we had a long discussion in Dhaka city when I was in Dhaka city. Many times we had a lot of discussion about secularism, about humanism, how we should write blogs, and how we should criticize the fundamentalist groups, and how we should make satire about them. And he was a very good blogger. I liked him for his satire, his sense of humor. He was a wonderful blogger, and I'm very much upset right now.
Well, we're joined now by Bob Churchill, who's Director of Communications from the International Humanist and Ethical Union. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, Bob, just tell us a bit more about Washikur Rahman. I mean, what did he write about that some people clearly found so offensive?
I think, as Asif Mohiuddin just said, he was a satirist. He was writing very much in a vein of wanting to express criticism of Islamist parties and of a sort of fundamentalist attitude. And we know that this morning the police took two men into custody who, at the scene, media have sort of widely quoted them saying that they killed him for his anti-Islamic writing. And I think it needs to be sort of stressed very clearly that what he was doing, what he was writing, was not in any way bigotry, not that that would justify murdering him in the street either, but that he was very much writing about, well, exactly the sorts of attitudes and beliefs that drive someone to kill someone in those circumstances. Fundamentalism and the sort of politicization of Islam were his targets as a writer.
And is anybody then who's critical of Islam in whatever shape or form then living in fear in Bangladesh?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting that message loud and clear. Since Avijit Roy, who you mentioned in the introduction, was killed 4 weeks ago, we've had contacts in from, at the International Humanist and Ethical Union, we've had contacts in from a number of other writers, bloggers, and just other concerned free thinkers and atheists and humanists who are receiving threats themselves directly if they're bloggers. They're remembering Ahmed Rajib Haider, who was killed a couple of years ago, just before Asif Mohiuddin was attacked. They're remembering Avijit Roy. And this has become a real recurring pattern that if you are brave enough and courageous enough and principled enough to say, I think there is a problem in this country with Islamism, with certain fundamentalist attitudes that are anti-rational and anti-democratic. If you make those criticisms, regardless of whether you agree with that or not, it is making people a target for the most vicious and brutal attacks. All of these murders have happened with machetes in the street. They're designed to intimidate other people who might be considering talking about these issues.
And what is the attitude of the authorities to all of this?
Well, unfortunately, although this morning the two of the three attackers appear to have been arrested at the scene, it's taken 2 years to indict the people that killed Ahmed Rajib Haider 2 years ago. Avijit Roy's, some people accused of his murder were taken in, but then we think bailed. It seems to be the case, and this is a repeated criticism made by not just the secularists and atheists who are under threat, but others in the country as well, that the authorities are very lacking in their commitment to dealing with Islamist people who are committing these crimes, that it seems to be a pattern of behavior that they are, to some extent, simply refusing and delaying to investigate these crimes. They're not always easy to investigate. The people that commit these crimes can appear and then disappear. But we certainly hope now that there are two men in custody who are captured at the scene, this will hopefully be a way into that network, if there is a network of people, that they should be able to dig a little deeper. These three people came from, we think, from one madrasa. Whether they were influenced by others or were in touch with others, whether there's a wider coordinated effort to attack the atheist bloggers in this way, this is something that we can hope the authorities will now take advantage of.
Bob, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. Bob Churchill there from the International Humanist and Ethical Union.